Stripe versus PayPal. So people are always asking us here at BuddyBoss, should I use PayPal or should I use Stripe? Because we're building membership sites and often people want to charge their customers a monthly subscription to access content, or maybe they're using a LearnDash course site and they want to charge to sell courses or something like that. And it's confusing which one should they use. So there's a number of things you want to think through, and hopefully by the end of the video you'll have an understanding as to what are the criteria you want to look at to help you make an informed decision here. So first, a high-level overview. PayPal and Stripe are competing products that allow your customers to purchase things on your website. And with both of these, whatever software you're using for doing the checkout, that software is what's actually powering the purchase. And behind the scenes, Stripe or PayPal is the merchant that is allowing the transaction to occur. Okay? And the difference between the two products, there's a lot of differences, and I'm going to go through each one. But let me first answer a question that often comes up is, can the user make the purchase on my website, or do they have to leave and go to PayPal? Do they need to create a PayPal account in order to use PayPal? The answer to that question is that in both scenarios, it is possible for the customer to make their purchase right on your website. In order to do that, you need, one, an SSL certificate, which you can buy at GoDaddy or Komodo or all over the place. An SSL certificate is what you see in the browser. This S is added, HTTPS, and it shows as green. SSL is what does that. It basically is allowing the site to be secure. Both of these merchants require your site to have an SSL if you want to have on-site payments, meaning the user does not leave your website. And for PayPal specifically, you need a PayPal Pro account for the customers to purchase right on your website. And you have to apply for that. The approval process is pretty simple. You just need an existing website that does not have any sort of offensive or illegal material on it. You apply to PayPal, they'll approve you pretty fast, and then you pay $30 a month for the ability to do that. And Stripe, you don't need to pay for this, but you do need to get a business Stripe account you have to apply for, which is also fairly simple. Okay, so in both scenarios, users can purchase right on the site, and they do not need a PayPal account. They can, if they want to buy through PayPal, they do, but if they want to buy with a credit card, they can just put in their credit card details the same way they would when checking out with Stripe. In both scenarios, if they're using a credit card, the user will not know that it's Stripe or PayPal unless they're a developer and they're savvy to what's going on. They will just think they're buying with a credit card. Okay, so this brings me to one of the next criteria is your customers. Are you okay with your customers only purchasing with a credit card? Or is it important to you that you allow customers to use their PayPal account to buy? Right? If you know that a lot of your customers have PayPal accounts, perhaps you're an international company and not everyone has access to a credit card or a bank, and a lot of them have PayPal accounts, then probably that's gonna inform your decision that you might want to use PayPal, just because PayPal allows people to buy with their PayPal account, and Stripe doesn't, right? So that might be a deal breaker for you. That's one thing to consider. Another thing to consider is where your customers are located, because Stripe and PayPal is not have different countries that they support. So accept payments from anywhere in the world, available for businesses in 25 countries. This is for Stripe. So you need to your company needs to be incorporated in one of these countries for you to even open a Stripe account. So if you're not in one of these countries, then you've already ruled out Stripe. And that's at the time of making this video, January 2018. This list will probably be expanded over time, so you might want to check this link again to make sure. Same thing with PayPal. PayPal has been around a lot longer than Stripe, and they're available in a lot more countries. So if your country is not on this list, you go check out PayPal, and let's say you're in Albania, just as an example. That did not show up on this list, so that would pretty much make the decision for you. You'd have to be in PayPal. You'd have to use PayPal to accept the money. So that's another factor. And then one more factor that you're going to want to look at is what is the software you're actually using for doing the credit card transactions. So you're not actually sending the user out to Stripe or out to PayPal. What's going to happen is you're going to have some sort of checkout or shopping cart system on your site, and that system is going to usually have you add a payment gateway plugin extension that integrates with Stripe or PayPal or some other service. And so you're going to want to look and see what integrations are available for your cart system and make sure that it actually has an integration for PayPal or Stripe, which will help inform your decision. So just as an example, MemberPress, when we're building our WordPress membership sites, this is a plugin that we often integrate with because it makes it very easy for users to purchase subscriptions for access to their WordPress site and protect content based on their member level. So they have an integration for PayPal, and they also have an integration for Stripe, right? So we can go with either one. So let's say we were going to use Stripe. What we would do is purchase this Stripe add-on, and then within the WordPress site we would configure it, and basically you have to authenticate your Stripe account. And when you create your Stripe account and go in the dashboard, you create like API keys and things like that, and connect that to this, and then install the SSL certificate, all that stuff, and then the customer can purchase, and they come on the site and they buy. Their credit card info is not stored in your website at all. Some of their billing info is their name and their address or whatever, but their credit card details are not stored in your site, so you don't really have to worry about that. Through the API, it bypasses your site and sends that info to Stripe or to PayPal, and it's stored on Stripe or on PayPal. That's how this works. Okay, so you're going to want to make sure that the integration works for whatever system you're planning on doing for PayPal or Stripe. And then another thing you might be considering is the transaction fees. It turns out they're really not that different. So this site, of course, again, this is January 2018. This info might change over time. But Stripe charges a flat rate of 2.9% plus 30 cents per charge if you're doing under $1 million in volume per year. And PayPal is the same, 2.9% plus 30 cents. But PayPal throws in some extra service fees. So PayPal has, as we mentioned before, $30 a month is required in order to just accept payments on your site. If you don't do that, then you have to send the user to PayPal. I really would not recommend doing that. You'll have a huge drop off in conversions. Their chargeback fees are slightly higher, and they charge some extra fees for American Express. And for international cards, they charge another %. And then if you want to do subscriptions like recurring billings, you have to pay $10 a month for that. So you can see the fees are fairly similar, but overall, depending on your circumstance, PayPal could be a little bit more. So these are all some things you're going to want to look at. And then, so you might be wondering, besides the fees here, it sounds like PayPal is the winner because they're supported in more countries and because the customer gets to use PayPal or credit card. And those are all things in PayPal's favor for sure. The thing that's in Stripe's favor is that Stripe is a much more modern and better infrastructure. So developers generally prefer working with Stripe, so there are often better integrations for Stripe, and the experience for the customer in a lot of circumstances is a little bit smoother with Stripe, in my opinion. The way they do things is nicer. They ask for less details, and the purchases, in my experience, are more likely to go through. And also, I think Stripe is a lot better for doing subscriptions. You can do subscription in PayPal, but the way it's managed in Stripe and in the dashboard, they have a whole area for subscriptions. So if you don't care about some of the advantages of PayPal, if they're not pertinent to you, and if your market is in the USA or is in places where almost all of the customers have a credit card, and especially if you're going to do subscriptions, in that particular scenario, I would personally go with Stripe because I think it's a better experience in the dashboard area. It's easier to manage and it's better for the customer. And then one more thing to be aware of is what actually happens once you collect that money. Where does it actually go, right? How do you access it? Basically, with Stripe, Stripe is not an online bank account. It doesn't work that way. The way Stripe works is once the money hits your Stripe account, it automatically gets deposited to your own bank account periodically. And you cannot actually go log into Stripe and use the money that's there until it hits your bank account. So generally it'll happen every business day. Stripe will automatically send some portion of money to your bank. So it kind of holds it for a moment and sends it. Whereas PayPal actually works as kind of like a hybrid bank account / payment merchant. So with PayPal, the money hits your PayPal account, and then once it's there, it does not leave unless you initiate it to leave. So while it's sitting in PayPal, you can use that PayPal account to go buy things on other websites or pay people. And then if you want to take money from PayPal and get it to your bank account, you have to manually do that. You log in, you pick how much money you want to withdraw, and then you send it to your bank. So that's one other difference. For more info, check out BuddyBoss.com, where you can learn about how to build your online community using WordPress and BuddyPress. Or check out our sister site, AppBoss.com, where you'll learn about how to take your WordPress community and make it available through a mobile app that your existing customers can download using their iPhone or Android device.